Shalom, giving all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakah Kodash. Shalom to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect out there. Shalom to you all. Anyway, I'm going to entitle this video, "The Woman Was a Greek in Mark and Matthew," or the books of Mark and Matthew, is an Israelite. The woman was a Greek in Mark and Matthew is an Israelite. So this is a video that was put up a day ago. I just caught it, entitled Deacon and Aside explain why they are no longer Sakari Israelites. So I mean, you can watch this. I didn't watch the whole thing, but they explain it somewhat. There's a part of the video round about here-ish that they're saying, people are saying, well, it's the doctrinal differences, which they're saying that's not the case, it's something else, and they explain it briefly. They don't give the whole thing, pretty much. They say it's none of your business as to what's, the deeper thing behind the split. But they explain enough. You get an idea. So he mentions, Hassad mentions that these people are thinking that it was a doctrinal difference, and he left because he believes the Gentiles can make it, and he said no. And then he goes through a couple of scriptures, and he goes to the book of, I don't know if he went to Matthew or Mark, because I just heard it. I was mopping the floor, so. But the account of the woman was a Greek, a Syrophoenician by nation, is mentioned both in the book of Mark and the book of Matthew. So he's saying in the video, I heard it, I didn't watch the whole thing. Maybe I wasn't hearing it close enough, that she was an actual Gentile. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the IUIC teaches that. I'm not sure if the ISUPK, but if they do, I know why. Because back at One West, the top teachers of us, of the Israel, not of us, of the Israelites, from One West, that's what they used to teach. That they would read either the Matthew or Mark. I believe that's Mark 15 and Matthew. Let me just bring that back up. Okay, Matthew 7, and then in Mark it's in Mark chapter 15. So that's what they used to teach. I remember Yeshaya used to have the scripture read, and he said the woman was a white woman. She was a white woman because she was a Greek. Well, if you look up the word Greek in the New Testament, for the majority of the times, I would say 99% of the time, maybe there's one or two times that it's talking about another nation, a heathen. But in the case of Matthew 7, the woman was a Greek, was an Israelite, just like Cornelius. But he wasn't called a Greek, he was called a Gentile. And when you listen to Hassad read it, it goes into the Lord calling her dog, and the scriptures, sometimes when the word dog or dogs referred to Israelites as well. Cast not thy pearl before swine, neither give that which is holy among dogs. So I was talking about Israelites. Like I said, you can watch the video. So now, you know what? Let me just go on into it. I don't want to make this long. So if you're teaching that Mark 7, I said Matthew 7, Mark 7, and Matthew 15, if you're teaching that this was an actual woman from another nation, That's not the case. She's an Israelite. That this truth wasn't, when the Lord gave the commission in Matthew's 10, starting from the 5th verse. He gathered the 12. That's from the first verse. Mentions the 12 by name, and he gives them a commission. And he said, "Don't go to the Gentiles, and the Samaritans, the whole nine." So, but he goes to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. What he meant was, go to where the Israelites are, meaning the ones that know that they're Israelites, and tell them, that I'm the Messiah, give them the gospel. And this is why he called a dog, and he said the children have to be fed first, which was primarily the kingdom of Judah, Benjamin, Levi. This gospel was first to go to the Jews first and also the Greeks, right? The Jews first and also the Greeks. She was included in that, Jews first and also the Greeks. So let me just read it. I may open it up. So let me just go right to the 26th verse. The woman was a Greek, a Syrophoenician by nation. She besought him that he would cast forth the devil out of his daughter. The Lord ain't came down to use a power of miracles on heathens. She's not a heathen. Her daughter got blessed because she was an Israelite. But it really wasn't the time for him to deal with. When he said, like I said, that let the children first be filled, it's talking about Judah, Benjamin, Levi, or any other tribes that stayed among the northern tribes. What's her name? Anna, I believe, from the tribe of Naphtali, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not going to look it up. And she was a prophetess. Well, she was an Israelite. She wasn't a heathen. Cornelius would be considered a heathen. This woman right here, considered a heathen. Also, you guys, I don't know how many of y'all teach this, but the woman at the well was not an Israelite. She was of another nation. That's why the Lord cursed her out and said, let me tell you who the true worshipers are. They're us, the Israelites, Jews, not you people. So let me open this up. Okay. From thence he rose and went into the borders of Tyre and Sidon. You had Israelites in there, you had other nations in there, and entered into an house and would have no man know it, but he could not be hid. For a certain woman whose young daughter had an unclean spirit heard of him and came and fell at his feet. The woman was a Greek. So we're going to deal with the word Greek. Anytime you see 99.9% of the time when you come across the word Greek in the New Testament, it's referring to Israelites. A Syro-Phoenician by nation. What is a Syro-Phoenician? Let's look up Syro-Phoenician. It's a compound word. Two words and another word. The name of a mixed nation, half Phoenician and half Scythian, doesn't mean that it's talking about a land area where you had Israelites and other nations living there. I can't believe they said it's a mixture of Syrians. No. Blue letter went off again. Let me look up the word compound. Okay, feminine compound of, and the same, a Syro-Phoenician woman, i.e. a female native of a female native of Phoenicia, which is Canaan, and Syria. Syria is North Canaan. So you had Canaan and Phoenicia. Matter of fact, I'm going to look up the word Phoenicia. Let's go to the word Phoenicia. Let's see if it's... Bear me for a minute. It didn't mean that the Canaanites and the Syrians mixed their seed and you got these hybrid nations. No, it's talking about land areas. So let me see if this comes up. Okay, I gotta do a little searching. I can tell you, Phoenicia is a Greek way of saying Canaan. Okay, Phoenicia. Persecute, Phoenice. Let's see what that says. It means. Let's see what it says. Phoenice, a territory of the province of Syria, situated on the coast of the Mediterranean, between the river Aletheus and promontory of Carmel, which is the land of Canaan. Why don't you just make it simple and say it's the land of Canaan? Let me do it this way. Let me go another route. You got a Phoenicia, New York, and a Phoenicia, let me do it this way. I didn't know you had a Phoenicia in New York and a Phoenicia in New Jersey. Let me do it this way. Hebrew. Phoenicia was an ancient Semitic sociocratic civilization. What does Phoenicia mean in Hebrew? Let me do it this way. Okay, Canaan, land of Canaan. So Syro-Phoenicia is the land of Canaan, and north of that was Syria. So she was living in the land of Canaan. And it shouldn't be really Syro-Phoenician, but it should be Canaan, the land of Canaan. That's why it says in Matthew she was a Canaanite. And she wasn't a Canaanite. She was an Israelite living in the land of Canaan, because who took over the land of Canaan? The Israelites. Uriah the Hittite was an Israelite living in the area of land in the land of Canaan, but he was an Israelite. Bathsheba was also an Israelite. Okay, so let me come on back. So she was remember, you had in the land of Canaan, which is Israel, Palestine, whatever you want to call it. You had Israelites, you had Judah, you had Benjamin, you had Levi, you had some of the other tribes from the northern kingdom that stayed with Judah. You also had a mixture of, you had some Edomites, you had some other nations living in that region. So let me come on back. Come back again. Like if you put in Phoenician language, it will come out Paleo Hebrew, ancient Hebrew. The Syro-Phoenician women also in Matthew 15:21-28. And from thence borders of Tyre and Sidon. You know what? Let me look up the word Sidon. Sidon. And see what people do. They'll ask us questions. Well, what does this mean? And then this is what we have to do. We have to do the searching. So it might, to give you an answer that might take 30 seconds to answer, we got to do this search for y'all because y'all don't want to do it. So y'all ask us questions, and sometimes I'll say, why don't you find out and come tell me? Some of y'all are lazy. Okay, so Tyre. Let's deal with Tyre. And IUIC is lazy. That's why they don't want to go. And the real reason why they don't want to go into the Hebrew and the Greek, because they're lazy. Okay, Tyre, a rock, a Phoenician city. There goes Phoenicia again, on the Mediterranean, which is off the coast. What's off the coast of the Mediterranean? The land of Israel. Very ancient, large, splendid, flourishing in commerce, and powerful by land and sea. A Phoenician city. And Phoenicia goes back to the Canaanites. It's I believe it's matter of fact, it is the Greek way of saying the Canaanites. So now let's go to the word Sidon. Sidon. An ancient and wealthy city of Phoenicia, which is what? Canaan. Sidon, Tyre, and Sidon are lands of Canaan. Phoenicia, which is Canaan, on the east coast of the Mediterranean Sea, which is the land of Canaan, less than 20 miles, 30 kilometers north of Tyre. Tyre is in the land of Canaan. Sidon is in the land of Canaan. Syro-Phoenician, Tyre, and Sidon. So she was an Israelite that her parents got caught up in that mess with Antiochus Epiphanes during the time of the Maccabees. So you had Israelites that didn't know that they were Israelites, that were deemed by the Jews, the kingdom of Judah, or Jehoiada, as being heathen. Even though they had woolly hair, dark skin, whatever. They had the features of Jake, but they had tribal marks or cuts in their flesh, tattoos. They wasn't circumcised. They were eating filthy food. So Israelites didn't want to have anything to do with them. And she besought him. So she heard about the Messiah. And she said, let me see if I can get my... And she believed, which proves she's an Israelite, she believed that this man that she heard about that performs miracles can save her daughter. But Yahweh said unto her, let the children first be filled, for it is not good or meet to take the children's bread, which was the ones of the gospel was first supposed to go to Judah, Yahweh, which is Judah, Benjamin, Levi. It even says in the scriptures, the Jews first, then also the Greeks. Meaning the ones that know that the Israelites that was raised up, circumcised on the 8th day, the whole 9, go to them first. And then in Matthew 28, he opened up to all the Israelites. And then, Cornelius was like the first Gentile, so to speak, that came into the fold. That's why it was a big mess about it in Matthew 10 and Acts 10 and Acts 11. It says, children's bread, and to cast it in unto the dogs, because you're like dogs. You're lower than the kingdom of Judah. And she answered and said to him, Yes, Lord, or Kairos, yet the dogs under the table eat from the children's crumbs. So look, we'll take second fiddle, we'll eat the scraps. And he said unto her, For this saying, go thy way, the devil is gone out of thy daughter. Now, why did he say that? Why would he do that to a white woman? Because she wasn't a white woman. She was an Israelite woman. It wasn't time for the apostles or the disciples to go to the Israelite foreigners. It was time just to go to the kingdom of Yahweh. And when she was come to her house, she found the devil or the demon going out, and her daughter laid upon the bed. And now the woman was an Israelite, and the daughter most likely had to be an Israelite too. So here you got Tyre, Sidon, Galilee. Okay, so here you got Matthew 15 and 29. Let's go to that. Because remember, if you go to Acts chapter 11, the disciple, matter of fact, let me go to that right quick. When you read Acts chapter 10, which I may or may not go into, Peter had to be convinced that this individual, Cornelius, can receive salvation. And he said, but the Lord, but I'm going to go into it anyway. I'm not going to read the whole chapter. But anyway, so this is after Peter is convinced. Peter is convinced that this man is part of this fold. But the rest of the apostles didn't see that. It says, and the apostles and brethren that were in Yahweh heard that the Gentiles, which were Israelites in the Gentile state of mind, as we say, had also received the word of God, of the Most High. And when Peter was come up to Jerusalem, they that were of the circumcision, the Yahweh, the kingdom of Yahweh, contended with him. Like, what the hell are you doing talking to a damn heathen? Which he wasn't a heathen. Saying, thou wentest in to men uncircumcised. Yes, they were uncircumcised, but they were Israelites. Remember, Yahweh, the kingdom of Yahweh, looked at the Israelites that were Gentile state of mind. They didn't want to have nothing to do with them. That's also in Galatians 2. And did it eat with them? Did he eat with another? No, he ate with an Israelite that was in a Gentile state of mind. It came out of the fold. And Peter had a thing with eating with them Gentiles, man. Galatians 2. But Peter rehearsed the matter because he knew he was going to get some pushback from him. He said, but Peter rehearsed the matter from the beginning and expounded it by order unto them, saying. So if the disciples said, we said you didn't want to deal with it, you called a dog, and we said send it away, and you wound up healing the Lord, why you do that? So the Lord would have to say, because she's an Israelite. But she wasn't supposed to get it yet, because she was not of the kingdom of Yahweh. So any of y'all teaching that, you're going off, and if there is such a thing called hell, you're going to burn in it if you don't change this. and expounded it by order unto them, saying, I was in the city of Joppa. So he explained the vision. He explained Acts chapter 10. I was in the city of Joppa praying, and in a trance I saw a vision. A certain vessel descended. Now you got these boneheaded clown ass Christians saying that this means you can eat pork. Okay, I want to see you Christians eat any fucking thing. You get hungry, go and find a rat and eat that. Get a snake, a pet snake, cook your damn dog. And Christians roll up on you, call the cops on them. I was in the city of Joppa praying, and in a trance I saw a vision, a certain vessel descend as it had been a great sheet let down from heaven by four corners, and it came even to me, upon which when I had fastened my eyes, I considered and saw four-footed beasts of the earth, and wild beasts, and creeping things, unclean animals, and fowls of the air, unclean fowls of the air. And I heard a voice saying, Arise, Peter, slay and eat. So Christians will say, you can eat pork. You can eat pork, brothers and sisters. When you go, is it in this chapter? It's either in the 10th chapter or this chapter. It said when the sheet was taken back up, he considered what the vision meant. It didn't mean that go ahead and eat this unclean animals, kill it and eat these unclean animals. And he said, I'm not going to eat anything that's common or unclean. So when the sheet was taken back up, he knew it was a vision. It didn't mean to eat them. It meant he was giving them an idea. He's saying, look, these Israelites that you're going to meet is just like you looking at unclean, unclean animal. Like, for example, I had purchased chicken fried rice from this Chinese restaurant. This is they make the good, not this corner store, but a straight up Chinese restaurant where they wear the black and the white, and they, them sit down restaurants. And I ordered chicken fried rice, and when I got it, I opened it and it was shrimp. And I remember before I came to the truth, I used to love the hell out of a shrimp. I couldn't wait to taste a shrimp. I can taste me a shrimp now. Inside joke. But anyway, I was disgusted, and I poured it back, and I said I didn't ask for shrimp, I asked for chicken. He said, but you know what? You do a better deal because shrimp is more than chicken, so you do better. You pay. I said, that's not the point. I said, I don't eat this. So the guy said, okay, no problem. I give you chicken. Please forgive me. But prior to me coming to the truth, I saw a shrimp. Oh man, my mouth started to water until I came to the truth, and I found out before I came to the truth, I didn't eat pork. I said I didn't eat pork because I listened to the Muslims, but nobody ever said anything about shrimp. So when I found out about shrimp and catfish and so forth, when they told me that, I said I ain't gonna eat no more shrimp, and I have a disdain for shrimp. And I heard a voice saying unto me, Rise, Peter, slay and eat. So as you read this, you can read the rest of this down to the end. But he's saying that the Most High, this was now this was open to the Israelite Gentiles. It wasn't open to the Israelite Gentiles when Yahushua was on the earth. So now it is open. That's why he had to go through that. Now if you go to, let me come back here. I don't want to make this long. But any camp out there teaching that the woman, the Syrophoenician woman, the woman that was a Greek, a Tyre and Sidon, the woman was a Greek. She's not a Greek. She's not a heathen. She's an Israelite. So y'all need to, and this is not open to debate. If you can't see it, then that's too goddamn bad. Then shame on you. Shame on you. Okay, let me come over here. And remember, the seven taught that Cornelius was an Edomite. Showed you that they didn't have 100% truth. We here at GMS have the 100% truth. If you're teaching that the woman was a Greek, was a heathen woman, then you don't have 100% truth. And a lot of you guys, if you're part of IUIC and the leadership of IUIC says the woman was a Greek, she was you're gonna go with it because you don't have the spirit of the Church of Berea. You don't check shit out. Well, Tahanim said that she's actually an Israelite, man. But I ain't going by that. Well, why don't you do this? Why don't you say, well, why would Apostle Tahar and the GMS leadership say that? Let me go ahead and check it myself. Oh, you know what? They're absolutely right. The mass majority, tell me I'm lying. Anybody, tell me I'm lying. The mass majority of Israelites out there, they don't know the scriptures. What they're good at is they take down notes, they get the precept package. Not knocking the precept package because that's a good thing. But the precept package goes off here and there. So what these guys at the IUIC does, or any other camp, they listen to their teacher. This man was sent from God. He's a representative. He's the vicar of the Messiah on the earth. So whatever this nigga said, I'm gonna wholeheartedly believe, and I'm gonna mimic what he says when I go on the street. A lot of you guys just mimic what you was taught. You don't know how to deal with the scriptures on your own. Give you another example of IUIC in Detroit when they had the church bliss. So you had Elder Mike, I call him Pastor Mike, not Pastor Mike, but Pastor Mike. He rolled up and he said, he had a question. He said, who's the king? He said, who's the king in Deuteronomy 28:36? And them guys were they were confounded. And you see, they looked like they were confounded. And and if I find the video, I'll give it. I'll put it in the description box. And these guys, you had the big brother with the red hair. They looking at the scriptures. They're making phone calls. They're fumbling around. And they I forget what. The guy that I don't know the brother's name. The big brother with the red hair. He said the white man, and they started laughing at him. So guess what? That made you guys look bad. Because that wasn't in the precept package. See, that if that was in the precept package, you would get it. So you had to make something up. Instead of studying the scriptures on your own. So I wonder if they still teach that. I wonder if they corrected that. Now, the answer to Deuteronomy 28:36, I'm not going to tell you. You're going to have to send me some money to get that. Inside joke. I'll tell you, I said it before. Search, keep bugging us and we'll give you the answer. We know the answer. I don't know about other camps, but we know the answer. I know the Sakari don't got the answer. IUIC don't got the answer unless they cover it up. But come back and see me on the comment board. All right? Okay, let me come over here. Okay, so this is what Peter said. And he said unto them, ye know how that it is unlawful, an unlawful thing for a man that is a Israelite to keep company or come unto one of another nation. So we're going to look that word up. So they'll say, well, see, that proves you the other. We're going to look that up. But the Most High have showed me that I should not call any man common or unclean. Therefore came I unto you without gainsaying, because the Most High straightened him up. He said, go and deal with this man. As soon as I was sent for, I asked, therefore, for what intent ye have sent for me. And Cornelius said 4 days. He goes into the angel to visit him and so forth, right? So this is what I want right here, right? Another nation. Let's look up the word another nation. And we pulled this out years ago. Unlawful thing for a man, an Israelite, to keep company, to sit down and eat with. Didn't Peter sit down and eat with him in Acts 11 and Galatians 2? Coming to another nation. So let's look up the word another nation. It's a compound word.
Strong's G 246. Alaphalos. Alaphalos.
Alaphalos. So let's break these words down. It simply says one of another nation, foreigner. No, we don't want that. We gotta, matter of fact, okay, it's only written there one time. Alaphalos. So let's look it up. G 243. Alos. Another, right? This is the word that we want. Foley.
Strong's G 5443. Foulé. Foulé.
Foulé. Let's see what the word foulé means. Another foulé. Another tribe. So when Peter said another nation, he really said another tribe. Remember, you had the kingdom of Judah and the kingdom of the northern kingdom, right? Or you had, that's why these brothers say it's the northern kingdom. You had Judah. Now, Cornelius could have been a Judite, but he was caught up in that mess. You know, his parents was caught up in that mess with the heathens. So they were looking at him like they were looking at the northern kingdom if they came back. And some of them were northern kingdom, but some of them of northern kingdom kept the laws. So they would be like the house of Judah almost. It said what? It said tribe or kindred. A kindred is what? Family. My kinfolk. A tribe in the New Testament, all the persons descending from one of the 12 sons of the patriarch Jacob. Remember, a nation of people. Remember, when the Assyrians took down the kingdom of the northern kingdom, remember there was a split. So Judah laughed at them like, yeah, good. They see they got your ass, showing you that the Most High wasn't dealing with y'all anyway. The Most High was always dealing with the three tribes, the kingdom of Judah. So y'all get what y'all supposed to get. But guess what? About 150 years later, it was the Babylonians that took down Judah. So that was a separation. Ultimately, the northern kingdom came over here to the Americas. The ones that was left over here on this side of the world, on the east side of the world, the Middle East, Palestine, those were the ones that decided to go back to Judah, because they knew that the king came out of Judah. So anyway, I don't got to read no more. You can figure out the rest on your own. So what did we learn today? Cornelius is an Israelite. When you read Acts 10 and Acts 11, Cornelius was an Israelite. He was the first. He was the first Israelite Gentile to come to be open to the world. The woman that was a Greek. She was also an Israelite. Now I can look up the word Greek and the word Gentile. Sometimes if you look up the word Greek and you go on and you count how many times the word Greek is, sometimes the word Gentile pops up. So, in closing, like I said, Cornelius was an Israelite. The woman that had a daughter grievously vexed with a demon, she was an Israelite. So anyway, and I could keep going. I can keep going, I mean, I can look up the word Greek. As a matter of fact, let me do that right quick. Greek. So Galatians 3 verse 28, I believe it's 28 verse. It says the Jews, then the Greeks. The Greeks were Israelites. 12 times. One was a Greek. Luke 23, 38, superscription letters in Greek. Why would there be 3 languages written on the cross above the head of the Messiah? Because you had Israelites speaking Greek, in Latin and Hebrew. The Israelites of Alexandria, Egypt, that came 3 times out of the year. They were the biggest group out there. Big community in Egypt, Alexandria, Egypt. They didn't speak Hebrew. They probably spoke broken Hebrew, but they spoke Greek. Acts 16:1, same word, Greek. Timothy's father was a Greek. Did that mean, and the same word, Greek, for the woman was a Greek, that woman of Syrophoenician, a Canaanite woman, she was an Israelite. That got caught up in a mess with her parents back there during the time of Antiochus Epiphanes and the Maccabees, where they were forced to denounce the fact that they were the Israelites. I wanted to show you something else. Let me do this. I'm going to put in the word Greeks with an S. Okay, so this is John 12, verse 20. And there were certain Greeks among them that came up to worship at the feast. Let me go into the context, then I'm going to close. So if you don't go into the Hebrew and the Greek, the original writings in the Hebrew, New Testament was Hebrew and some Greek. A lot of the letters that Paul wrote, he was dealing with Israelites that only spoke Greek, so those letters were written in Greek. And the other books, Peter and them, they wrote it in Hebrew. Even John said this Apollyon in the Greek it means this, and in the Hebrew it means this. Okay, the Pharisees therefore said among themselves, let me see something. The people, therefore, that was with him, the Yahushua, when he called Lazarus out of the grave, they saw this miracle and raised him from the dead, bear record. For this cause, the people also met him, for that they heard that he had done this miracle. The Pharisees therefore said among themselves, perceive ye how ye prevail nothing. Behold, the world is going after him. So what word do you think is there? Cosmos. The woman that was a Greek, Syrophoenician by nation, she was part of the world, that world. Cosmos. It's talking about the Israelites. Where the hell am I? Give me a second here. Okay, it's 19 verse. So they perceived that behold, the world is going after him. The Israelites are going after him, including the Israelites that were not looked upon as being Israelites. The Gentile Israelites. Greeks seek Jesus. Greeks seek Jesus meaning what? The Israelites, like Cornelius, sought after this truth. And there were certain Greeks among them, Israelite in the Gentile state of mind, that was starting to wake up among them, that came up to worship at the feast. So there was a feast of Israelites that these Israelites wanted to be a part of. Let me give you another. Let me do this. Give me a second. Okay, so right here, the Apostle Paul almost got put to death for bringing Greeks into the temple. But they weren't Greeks, they were Israelites that was raised up as Gentiles. Acts 21:28, crying out, men of Israel, help. This is the man, meaning Paul, that teaches all men. What does he mean by all men? He wasn't talking about all the nation. He was talking about the Israelites, even the ones in the Gentile state of mind that had tattoos, tribal marks, bald-headed, no beard on their face, eating all kind of unclean animals, not circumcised, not wearing the fringes or the garments, dressing the Greek attire, wearing hats. Well, it says in the Apocrypha they made him wear a hat. It doesn't tell you what type. It didn't say that he was wearing a baseball cap. It didn't say he was wearing a fitted. It said a hat. All men everywhere against the people. Let me start crying out, men of Israel. This is the man, Paul, that teaches all men everywhere. All men among who? Among Israel. Against the people and the law and this place, and further brought Greeks. We would know. So if that Syrophoenician woman was there, she could have been in that crowd. Also into the temple and have polluted this holy place. They didn't pollute it because he didn't bring in other nations. He brought in Israelites. Romans 1:4, I am debtor both to the Greeks and to the Greeks, Israelites, and to the barbarians, Israelites. You got the Scythians, which the barbarians and the Scythians, they founded Russia. Now I was talking to the bishops. They were at the house. We were watching the fight, and I asked them a question. I said, "What does Russia mean?" And they didn't say nothing. I said, "What does Russia mean, Ak?" I said, "Russia is a compound word. It's two Hebrew words, Ra'ash Shah." Then they said, "Oh yeah, you're right," because I did videos on it, but they didn't see those videos. So the place called Russia was called Chief Prince. Chief Prince. If you go to Ezekiel chapter 38, the first verse or two, it speaks about the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. Go to the Hebrew. The word chief prince is Ra'ash Shah, or Russia. Russia is a Hebrew name. The original founders of Russia were Israelites. So a lot of these Russians that you see, a lot of them are Jake, both to the wise and to the unwise. I am debtor both to the Greek and to the barbarians, both to the wise and the unwise. For the Jews require a sign, and the Greeks seek after wisdom. Greeks are talking about Israelites that are educated, like Paul had the encounter in Acts chapter 17. The men of Athens. The men, vocab say, well, no, they were men of Athens. They were white men. No, they were Israelites. They were the conscious community of that time. So every time you come across the word Greek, which is 12 times, and the word Greeks, which with the S is 14 times, it's 99.9% of them is talking about Israelites. The only time it mentions Greek that's not talking about Israelites is John, John 7 and 35. Then said the Jews among themselves, whither will he go that we shall not find him? Will he go unto the dispersed, which are the Israelites, among the Gentiles? These are the other nations, and teach the Gentiles. Gentiles right here are the other nations. Gentiles over here are the Israelites in the Gentile state of mind. So now you know what I'm going to do? If I click on this, let me come down here. Okay, it says Gentiles. 1627. The word is Hellene, which is what? Greek. There it goes. Gentile, Gentile, Greek, Greek. Let's come on back. So now let me do this in the copy. I'm gonna go to the NLT. The Jewish leaders were puzzled by this statement. Where is he planning to go? They asked. Is he thinking of leaving the country, which is Palestine, and going to the Jews, the Israelites, in other lands? What does the Apocrypha say? Asarath, which is Hebrew for other land. Maybe he will even teach the what? The Greeks. Who are the Greeks? Israelites. Will he go among the Gentiles to teach the Gentiles? Will he go among the Gentiles and other nations to teach the Israelite Gentiles? That's what it means. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom. On to the next one. So get it right, y'all.